What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hustling Sideways podcast. I'm Alan Halas. I'm a music writer.
I'm Jim Love, and I'm a keynote and motivational speaker.
And this is the Hustling Sideways podcast. When we don't have guests on our show, like we do every other week, we talk about the things that go on with us and our careers and our side hustles and passion projects and really just life in general.
That's right.
We've talked about networking a few times here in our podcast in these bonus episodes and what we do, how good we are at it, how good I wasn't at it. But today we are talking specifically about one aspect of networking. And I think it's a really underrated one and underlooked one is the ability to put yourself in the right room with the right people. Jim, I know you work with all different walks of life between your side gig and your professional gig.
Right.
And it's just getting to know people, right? Like
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
how we do that, and what do you kind of look for when you're going to find places to network with people?
Yeah. You want to kick this off because I like this question. I'm
Yeah,
curious
definitely.
your thoughts on it.
For sure. So for my instance, like I said, networking was something I was not really good at,
Mm-hmm.
especially within music, because there's always kind of been this feeling of like there's tiers, even though you don't think that there's tiers. Like some artists are out touring, and some artists are on like that whole other level. And believe it or not, there's people in Milwaukee that they're a little more secretive about it, but or at least locally secretive about it. But like we have people that work in music here on a national level that go touring. Now I know people. I actually just went to lunch with somebody that is in a major rock band that is touring around the country from Milwaukee. We know a studio engineer that goes out with Zach Bryan
Oh
out on his
wow.
country tours, and he's out
Yeah.
there. But you would never know. And there was a recording studio in Wauwatosa that did national work and international work. So you would never know. Like,
No, I would
anyway,
never guess that.
yeah.
That's
So
for sure.
that being said, there are tiers to this, right? Like
Yeah.
kind of unofficial tiers. I had to learn how to determine what people were the right people for my career as like, oh, if I want to move with the people that are doing things on a national, international level, those are the people I need to get in with.
Yeah.
As much as I love local music, there are some people that take it very seriously and some people that don't, just frankly aren't. It's more of a hobby to them
Yeah.
kind of thing. And just figuring out, being intentional about who I was trying to talk to, who I was getting my face in front of, and what did that mean for me as a result of that. So that's something that I really had to learn, was how to just be in the right
Mhm.
rooms and figure out who is serious about what they're doing and
Yeah.
who could potentially help me in my career. That's how I kind of landed on radio for a little bit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
shout out to the former FM 1021 and those people, getting in with those people, knowing that like, these were the right people for me. And also, I guess I'll add the caveat of also uh, being professional about it too, and not saying, "Hey,
Right.
you need to be working with me,"
Yeah.
and
That's a
shouting
big
across the
difference.
room, "Hey, you need to be working with me because I'm, XYZ greatest
Hmm.
at blah blah blah."
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
knew that there was an art to this, and it was something that I had to get better at over time, but it eventually paid off for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And networking wise, I definitely like in my younger years was just like I need to be everywhere all the time, and
Hmm.
that just didn't help. Like I was stretched thin and would just kind of go to each room. I have kind of two things in this because my professional career, I have very specific like conferences I attend and things like that where I know there's going to be folks that want the services that we do. So that part's more like if I know who's showing up, it's a pretty good indication of where I should be or where I should not be. In terms of like speaking wise, I find myself now like, if there's ever an opportunity to be like in a room of educators, like this is an easy way to share my story and what I do. There's also
Hmm.
folks that like do what I do, and are competition, if you will, in quotes, but we're really collaborative, and I really like talking to folks that do this, especially full time of like what's worked for you, what hasn't, and then you naturally gain this network of people that if they can't make something, they'll send it to you, and if you can't make something, you send it to them. So like I actually like I have a scheduling conflict coming up this summer where I was supposed to give a keynote and can't make it anymore, and I was able to
Hmm.
give two suggestions of people that can, and one of them worked out. So like
That's
that's
cool.
always so helpful to have that network of speakers that can do the thing. And then in terms of like folks that will like buy what I do, it's really word of mouth. And so like I have to be very present in like knowing what's going on in different schools and where I fit into that and know who
Hmm.
I'm talking to right away. A lot of it's phone calls, but if there are opportunities to be like in the same place as these people, and this happens a lot, like I'll be at a conference or I'm speaking somewhere like a student council conference and I'll meet a teacher from a different school and we'll connect and then we talk later and suddenly I'm going to their school, later on. So
Hmm.
it's
That's
really
cool.
like I always have to kind of be in a place where I'm explaining what I do and being very direct about it. And like, I'd love to work with you. Like, let's chat about this. And then following up, that is like the amount of times I've had conversations with folks and they're like, we should connect. And I'm like, but are we going to? Like,
Yeah.
what's your contact information? And actually getting home and sending it and being like, like the people that don't follow through drive me bananas. Like, I have to follow through and like, it's great to be in these rooms, but what do you do after? Like after you're there, and if you're in a place where you're going to talk to folks, what's the follow through? I know that happens in your line of work too. Of like, okay, if
Oh
you're
yeah.
actually going to make
Oh
this work, like pie in the sky, like talk about it later, and what are we going to do about it? That's the biggest
yes.
thing, you know.
The amount of musicians that say let's link or let's
Yeah,
connect,
that's it.
you know what I mean,
It's
like,
so vague. It doesn't mean
is
anything.
you hear
Yeah,
it all the
yeah,
time, but yes, like you said, following through is something that is very seldom, I guess,
yeah,
on things. And I'm guilty of
totally.
that too. I'm fully
Yeah.
guilty of being like, hey, I need to talk to you about blank, and then it life happens and gets in the way.
And that's
um
okay. Like every now and then that's going to happen. But if you really care about something, and if you're in the room with people that do care about it, then take it upon yourself
yeah,
to follow through and do it
yeah,
and
exactly.
be persistent. Like reach out again, follow up. If you sent one email, send another one. Like if you really want to do something and you found people that also want to do it, then like it's on you to continue doing it. And you can't
Yeah,
blame anybody else if it doesn't work out.
for sure. I think another part of it too is also like being able to identify opportunity,
Hmm.
where, and maybe not even thinking like short term opportunity, like
Yeah.
thinking something
Yeah.
down the line, right? Like I've managed to network my way into a lot of people within media, within music in Milwaukee,
For sure.
people that, like I'm not looking for really anything right now,
Yeah.
but I'm never saying no to certain things where,
Exactly.
like, if the right opportunity comes along, it's, let's say, okay, hypothetically, a big national job comes calling and there's an opening, and I know somebody now that could potentially warm me up to somebody else. Now I've got to step up on everybody, right? Because I
Right.
was in the room with this person, 6 months ago or a year or 2 years or
Yep.
3 years ago, and
Here's
they
a
know
reach
me
out.
and they remember me, and then that brings me to somebody else. That immediately makes you a top prospect, or
Totally.
at least a
Totally.
higher prospect for that
Yeah,
sort of
and
thing.
that's how things get done now. Like you know each other. You
Mm-hmm.
have to network that way. So like be very intentional about where you're spending your time. Like now if you have time,
Mm-hmm.
like this is speaking for me who like doesn't have a ton of time now with a family and stuff like that. I
Mm-hmm.
have to be very picky and choosy. When I was 23, I could show up to a lot of places and like be fine and have time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's okay to learn from that and do it, but from folks that have now done it for more than 10 years, like if you know that a place is going to have people that you should be interested in and connect with, like show up to that, connect with a few of them, and continue the conversation after. Like the room is great.
Yeah,
It's after what truly counts, and like what are your
yeah,
follow ups going to be, and how are you going to take advantage of those situations, and that's just so critical. Like if you don't do that, like it's great to connect with someone, but like what happens when you leave the room? Like did that was that just something that happened in time and you forget about it, or do you actually do something and make an action from it?
yeah. And you can also keep tabs with people because
That's
you
right.
never know where people go, right? Like
Yeah,
I've definitely talked to
exactly.
people now that are in really, really good positions that
Hmm.
I remember when they were just trying to get their name out to
Go back
somebody,
to that.
you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So, I
exactly.
mean, it never hurts to do it, but I guess in the sense of like, this is a sales term, but a cold lead versus a warm lead. If
Yeah,
you
we
can
love
put
that.
yourself in more of a warm lead,
Yeah,
in a room with more warm leads than cold, I think
that's right.
it's
That's right.
totally best for you.
Yeah.
So we want to know, what do you do? What do you think about when you're trying to find places to network? Are you trying to put yourself in the rooms with the right people? And of course, success stories always welcome. So leave us a comment. Let us
That's
know.
right.
Uh, in the meantime, we are the Hustling Sideways podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us not only on all the places you get your podcasts and YouTube, but you can find us on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of the places as well. If you want to be a guest on the show and talk to Jim and I, you can do that. Send us an email. It is hustlingsideways@gmail.com. And Jim,
Keep on hustling.
we will see you next week.
Peace.